Hi, so I need to give a little disclaimer. I think TikTok might be back. I don't know. It's working. So I filmed this before it came back. Lots happening. So if it's back, my point still stands. Like all this time that you could be spending on there, you could be spending doing this. So go ahead and watch the video. It's from the point of view of TikTok isn't here because I don't know if it is or not. I don't know if it's back. It's obviously not reliable either way, but that's my disclaimer. So enjoy the video, episode, whatever you want to call it, and I'll see you guys later. So your emotional support app was banned in the US. What now? Well, I'm gonna tell you. What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Gracetorie, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. Last night was a little crazy, a little kooky, a little silly. I'm in the US, like a good majority of you, and so you know that TikTok is on a little hiatus from us. I don't know what the plan is with that. I don't know if it's coming back. I don't know if it's not. But I wanted to make an episode all about things that you can do with this time that you now have, because I'm trying to put a positive spin on this. I know, me being one of them, that was a source of income for a lot of us, and so we're like having to work through that, among other things. Pros and cons to it. I'm not going to get into the politics, but I do want to have the positive spin that this gives you so much more time to focus on some awesome things now. So I'm going to kind of give you ideas of things that you can do now that you aren't on TikTok scrolling every single day. So that is what we're going to be talking about. I'm really excited for this. I kind of stopped using TikTok other than as a app to like further my business and post on a little bit ago, and started implementing these things that I'm going to talk about and working on those in that time, and I can guarantee that it makes a difference. So if you are looking for ways to devote that time to something else now, this is a great time to do it. There's no better time because you already have that time kind of etched into your schedule, whether you realize it or not, where you're spending like an hour, 2 hours scrolling every single day. And now you're in this fresh standpoint where like you were cut off. And so what are you going to do at that time? Put it towards one of these things and make yourself a better person, improve yourself and your situation. That's what we're going to focus on, and we're going to have fun while doing it. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into the video. But before I do, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the things. It's super, super quick, super free, super easy, and helps out my podcast more than you know. If you're a woman looking to join her community of girlies who are working to become the best version of themselves, then go ahead and hit that follow button. And then if you're on a platform where you can comment hashtag gal with goals down below, and let me know what you're going to be spending this time doing now that TikTok is no longer with us in the US. Let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm Gracetorie, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. So the first thing I'm going to say is ask yourself, what is something that you always say, I wish I had time for that? Like, for example, I had this painting, and I ended up finishing it not that long ago, but it was just like sitting halfway finished on my like shelf for a year, and I was like, man, I wish I had time to work on that. Now's your time. So I'm going to get that out of the way first and foremost. Like, if you have anything that's like, I wish I had time for that, I really want to reorganize these cabinets, I really want to finish this painting, I really want to finish this, you have time for that now. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. But be honest with yourself and say, I don't want to do this, rather than I don't have time for this, because you're not making time. I consider myself pretty good at time management. I have quite a few episodes on it, so I know what I'm talking about here, and you have time for what you make time for. And if you're not making time for it, that's a different story than not having time. So if there's anything that you say, I wish I had time for that, then go ahead and do it. Now let's get through the official list of things. First on the list being to go to the gym. An hour is like the perfect amount of time to go to the gym. I live 15 minutes from the gym. I do 30 minutes on the treadmill, and then I drive home. That's an hour exactly. So if you have an hour that you usually spend scrolling, I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. If you've been wanting to go to the gym or start a fitness routine, now's your time, bestie. Get it going, go to the gym, get it moving. Next is start a business. This is kind of a big one. This is one that's gonna probably take a little bit of time. I have quite a few episodes on how to start a business, so I'm not going to go into crazy detail. But basically, this includes like devoting that time to researching, thinking about what type of business, what type of product you want to sell, where are you going to sell it, is it going to be online, how are you going to market it now that you can't market it on TikTok, like what are you going to do, where are you going to do it, why are you doing it, all the things. Start a business, make a business plan, and devote this time, just an hour or two every day or however long you're spending on TikTok a day, to this thing. Even if it's 10 minutes a day, you'll be 10 minutes closer than you were before you started. Next is learn a new instrument. You guys know that this year I want to get back into playing the piano. I played growing up, I took lessons and did all the things, but I kind of fell out of it when I grew up, I guess, because I no longer had a piano and I was in college and I was moving around. But I really want to get back into it, and if you have been wanting to start playing an instrument, this is the time. This is the time. This one's a little bit more expensive because like you have to like have the instrument to play it, but schedule some lessons, you know, like do a 30-minute lesson once a week or whatever, and that may not be necessarily something you do every day. You should be practicing every day, but if you can only do what you can do, then that's enough. So learn a new instrument. Learn a new language. I know that we're all in our Duolingo era. I feel like we've all been in our Duolingo era for a long time. But learn a new language. Actually commit to it. I know that I'm literally Hispanic. Like, I actually am. That's my background. That's my family. Like, they all are. And I used to know Spanish, but I don't anymore. And I still like do my Duolingo, but I feel like I'm not getting any better, and it's because I haven't committed to it. So fully commit to learning a new language and devote the time that you spent scrolling on TikTok to learning this language. Pick up a new hobby. I left this one pretty open because we're not all going to be interested in the same things. Some things I wrote are painting, crocheting, just something you've always wanted to try. You and I are gonna have different interests. Like maybe yours is running. I'm not a running girly, but mine's crocheting. So whatever that thing is that you've always been like, oh, I wish I could do that, or oh, that's really cool, I wish I had that kind of talent, you can, and you literally can. For the most part, most things can be learned. Obviously, like genetics play a role to a certain extent, but if it's like crocheting or something like that, you can learn how to do it, I promise you. So pick up a new hobby and spend that time learning how to do it. Use those YouTube tutorials. Pinterest taught me how to crochet, taught me everything I know other than a couple YouTube videos, but pick up a new hobby, besties. Read a book. You guys know my goal for this year is to read 50 books, and I know that doesn't sound like much, but I only did 25 last year, and so I want to double that. I eventually want to get more than that, but I'm really trying to hit that 50 mark. So I've been reading a lot. Onyx Storm is coming out, so I'm currently reading Iron Flame for the first time. No spoilers, please. And I've just been reading a lot. I'm probably going to edit this, publish it, and then I'm going to sit right here and read because we are currently... It's snowing. Like, I think the snowstorm might have just stopped, but it was coming down for a while. So, read a book. Just spend that time and devote it to reading. Or if you're like me, you can download Libby, which is the library app where you can get free books from your library if they're available, and you can listen to it while you do a hobby. So I crochet, I paint, and then I listen to my book. So read a book, get your yearly book reading up, and have fun with that. I'm currently doing a book blanket, so I don't have my squares in here, so I can't show them to you, but I posted them on my Instagram story. I'm like doing a granny square for every single book that I read, and if it's a rating of an 8 or higher out of 10, then I will do a custom square that's like not a granny square, but it's like an embroidered cool square. So that is what I'm doing in addition to reading these books, to like kind of put them into, I don't know, make it more of like a hobby. I feel like reading it is fun, but then adding all of this helps me to fully get into it. You can get ahead of spring cleaning and clean your house. You guys know that we are looking to buy a house very soon. We are touring and doing all the things. But in addition to that, our lease is ending in a couple months, and so we are trying to get ahead of the curve and clean and make sure everything's good so that when it is time to move, we don't have to do it all at once. I feel like this is good practice for anybody. I hate when people say spring cleaning because you should be theoretically doing it once a month. Like, you should be doing a deep clean, making sure that anything you don't want goes to Goodwill, like, once a month. So, get ahead of that cleaning, make sure your house is spotless, you have all the time, you can turn on some good music, and devote time, like, that hour or whatever a day to it until your house is spotless. You don't have to do anything crazy, but spend time, like maybe one day you do laundry, catch up on all your laundry, and then wipe down baseboards. And the next day you wipe down your counters and mop the floor. Like, you don't have to do all of it at once, but just devote the time that you would be spending on TikTok to cleaning your house. Meditate. This one probably won't take an hour or 2 hours, but I will devote like a good half an hour to meditating when I really do it. There's some good meditations on YouTube. Just be careful because subliminals are a thing. It should be somebody that you are trusting of, so do your research, but meditation is great. It's such a better way to spend your time than scrolling on TikTok. Even if TikTok is great and awesome and we love her, meditating is great and awesome and good for you and gonna put you in a good mindset. Go to a workout class. I have been wanting to do this. Did I tell you guys about the one time I went to a cycling class and I didn't even make it through the warm-up? That may be a story for another time, but I would like to get back into yoga classes. I did yoga classes in college when they had them like for free at my school, and I want to get back into them, but they are expensive, so I'm looking into like different passes and things that I can do to get back on my yoga grind. But going to a workout class is about an hour. It takes the same amount of time that you would scroll TikTok. I'm assuming that you scroll between an hour and 2 hours a day. Could be more, could be less, but that's just like the average. I feel like people do it at night, like when they're trying to wind down. So that's time that you could be doing all this instead, and I'm trying to stay like around that hour to 2 hours. So going to a workout class, it'll probably take you an hour and a half when all is said and done. Driving there and back, just average, but it's a good thing. And you can also do it online. You can just like look up a YouTube workout class and have a good time. Cook a healthy dinner. I know for me, if I'm cooking a healthy dinner, I really take my time. I play some music, I really get into it, so it does take me about an hour. So cook a healthy dinner. Bake some healthy treats. Same wavelength as a healthy dinner, but it's like cookies and things like that. I just made these protein Oreo baked things, and they're really, really good, and they're healthy. They're not bad for you. I eat them for breakfast every morning. I just made like enough to get me through a couple days, and they're good for you. Like, they are a good source of protein because I'm a workout girly. I'm trying to get back on my grind. We're not there yet. So I am trying to be healthy, but I still love baking, so I'm trying to find healthy baking. So that's where I'm at right now. But if you are someone who enjoys baking, you enjoy cooking, you find it very meditative, is that a word? It's just like something that you really gravitate towards, spend some time in learning some new recipes and falling in love with it. Take your dog out for a day on the town. Take your dog to Starbucks. Take your dog to TJ Maxx, pending that they are well behaved. Please don't take a dog out if they're bad. Please don't. You could also take them for an extra long walk. They also need to make sure that they are like up to date on shots. They have their Bordetella, all the things, not just like the basic ones, but the ones for if they are going out and interacting with the world. Make sure they have those. But if they do, take them for long walks, take them out to meet people, Home Depot, just have an adventure with them. They will love it so much. You'll feel better about doing it. I know it always puts me in a good mood. Just have the time of your life, taking them for an extra long walk. Have a date night. This may not be something you do every day. Maybe it is. I know like sometimes we'll play like card games or we'll watch a movie. And so we try to do that a couple nights a week, like 3 to 4, and kind of split evenly between like doing independent things and hanging out with each other. So having a date night may not be an every night thing, but it doesn't have to be a crazy going out to a steakhouse dinner. Like, you can just do stuff at home and spend time together, get to know each other, and become better for it. Grow your relationship. DIY a house project. I love a good house project. I know I'm so excited to own a house so that I can do all the house projects, the painting, the moving things around, the building things, the fixing the doors, the things that like are really DIY. That you can just see on like Pinterest, and Instagram has some really good house DIYs. I know that I'm doing a lot of stuff based on I think let me see her, I know her TikTok handle was Golden Hour Abode, but let me see what her Instagram one is. A lot of my house is going to be just like based on her vibes because I love her vibes. She's a little bit more girly, and I think I'm a little bit more like fantasy, dark academia, but I 100% devote like it's the same energy. Yeah, it's Golden Hour Abode, and she just like posts her house, and it's so cute, it's so comfy, and like I said, in this new house, I'm definitely gonna be inspired by a lot of her stuff while putting my own like fantasy dark academia spin on it. But I love a good house project. I am so excited to own because I want to do so many things to this house, but I can't because we rent, and that's just a lot. Like, you can do a certain amount of things, but the things I want to do are pretty permanent, like changing the flooring and things like that. So having a good house project, even if it's DIY and like super on your own, is a good time. Learn about investing. You guys know that I am passionate about us gaining some financial literacy as women because we just aren't there. Like, we don't have the same amount of financial literacy as men, and that sucks. So that's something that I really am like passionate about, and I think that we all should get into. One of the books that I'm really excited to read, it's on hold with the library, but you have to wait until they like, oh, it started snowing again. Ooh, you have to wait until like you would a regular book with these. So I'm waiting, and I think the wait, let's see, what is the wait? About 6 weeks. So I'll get it eventually. But beating around the bush, the book I'm really excited to read is called Main Street Millionaire, and it's by Cody Sanchez. She worked on Wall Street for a long time. She owns a lot of businesses now. I follow her on YouTube, and I have for quite some time. But I'm really excited to read the book. I feel like it'll be really helpful. She says things in a way that I understand, so I'm really excited to just like learn about how to make money because she puts it in a way that is like very understandable. I'm extremely entrepreneurial, so is she, so learning about it that way. But if you like more traditional ways, there's also some great books out there for you. Let me know if you would want a list of like the best financial books. I think that a good Instagram to follow is Mrs. Dow Jones. Is it Miss or Mrs.? It's one of the two, but she has really, really good advice. But yeah, just DM me on Instagram if you want my list of financial books that I am trying to read. I haven't read through all of them, but they are like good ones that I've heard really, really good things about. So finances are always fun. Next is research how to improve your socials. If you are a content creator and this is hitting you hard, then we're taking this time to go into a hermit mode and learn how to improve your socials so that if TikTok comes back, you'll be ready, and if not, you'll still be able to implement it on your other socials. So, you know, spend time researching SEO, design, your branding, all the things, because that's going to help you improve, and the time that you were spending scrolling, you're still going to be putting back into your socials, but it's going to be for the better because you're going to be learning and growing as a brand. Create a vision board. It is not too late. I know January is not over yet. Create a vision board for the year. I do one for each month. Dang, I won't be able to post one on TikTok unless they get their life together before February. That's kind of sad, but I still post it on YouTube and Instagram. So create a vision board. Get your goals together, bestie. Think about where you want to be. Get planning. Go outside. I know I spent some time outside this morning, even though it is like a snowstorm. My dogs are both a very northern breed and just like love this type of weather. So we spent quite a bit of time outside this morning and it was great. I really enjoyed it. There was something so refreshing about it. I'm just like watching the snowfall. It's so magical. So go outside. You don't have to go outside for an hour. You don't have to go outside for 2 hours, but go outside. Rebrand yourself. I know this one's a little bit all-encompassing, but what else are you going to do? If you've been wanting to rebrand and become someone new, really dive into it. I have so many podcast episodes on how to reset your life, how to rebrand, how to just like get out of a slump and come back as a better person. So rebrand, get into it, bestie. let me know if you have any other things that you will be doing now that you are not going to be on TikTok. Comment them down below. I would love to hear them if you can comment. If not, go ahead and DM me on my Instagram. My podcast Instagram is a little bit easier to reach me. I am not on my personal one as much as I probably should be. I don't check my messages as much, but I am on my podcast one quite a bit. Don't forget to follow, like, all the things. That is pretty much it for this episode. I am kind of bummed about the snow. I need to go to the barn, but it's not looking like it's gonna happen, so I don't know. But I love you guys. I will see you next Sunday. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna come back better than ever, and it's all gonna work out. If nothing else, we're all just gonna start gardening and live in our own little pot of land in the middle of nowhere, and we'll all be fine. So I'm not too worried about it. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you later. Bye.